Look, I don't know if you guys saw the same thing that I saw last night, but episode 8 of Daredevil Born Again was perfection. There's so much I want to get into with this. The upgrade in quality in just this episode, the story implications, there's just a lot. I'm going to talk about everything within this episode, but I need you guys to leave a like on this video and comment down below right now what you thought about episode 8. I read all of your comments. I most likely will respond, and if you're new to this channel, I would love to have you here. We're on the road to 3,000 subs, and you can make it happen. I've rambled too much. Let's go ahead and talk about this fantastic piece of television.
I'm Spider-Man.
When this started, I felt like this was a completely new show. Not in the way that it would discredit anything that came before, but it just felt different. We immediately get to meet up with Dex again now that all the Muse stuff is done, and it feels like they're really just continuing the story that they proposed at the beginning of the season with the whole Foggy death thing. It feels like the middle episodes kind of just happened and they were integral to the story in some aspects with like Vanessa and Fisk, but now we're getting to the real juicy stuff. It's just unfortunate that it's taken this long to get back to what we love so much. Because in this episode, we get Bullseye back fully in action. He actually breaks out of prison here, which no surprise there, but the way he does it just was crazy. I love the whole blue thing that they're doing with Bullseye, kind of like how Matt has a visual thing change when he's using his powers. It looks like Dex is kind of doing the same thing where everything turns blue when he gets in his zone. Dex is supposed to be going to general population, but clearly he's not going to survive in there, so he's got to find a way out. Meanwhile, we have Fisk showing Vanessa that he's kept Adam captive this entire time, and I feel like I was right here in saying that Vanessa wanted Fisk to kind of prove his love for her still. Yeah, she's very upset that he left for so long and didn't think he loved her anymore. That's why they're going to therapy with Heather. But now that Fisk has kind of captured Adam and shown her that he does really still love her, willing to do bad things to show his love for her, I think she falls for it. So Vanessa and Fisk are like better now because they've bonded over this captive Adam who gets killed by Vanessa in this episode, literally burying this problem that they had. On the other hand, we have Matt talking to Heather after her traumatic event, and it's very weird seeing Matt in this different state. Now he knows that Bullseye is being moved and Heather's potentially seeing Wilson Fisk as a client. He's not really happy at all. We're seeing a very aggressive and assertive Matt Murdock who is over the lawyer thing and thinks he needs to go back to his old ways. And just in these beginning parts of the episode between Matt and Heather or Matt and Kirsten and Cherry, I'm getting these moments with these characters that I've wanted this entire season because I'm actually rooting for them and caring for them now. While it wasn't bad, I think the side characters really lacked development at the beginning of this series, and this episode alone just added so much stake to it all and it actually makes me care. I also feel a similar way about what they're doing with Daniel and BB Urich. We learn in this episode that BB does know Fisk is the prime suspect for the murder of her uncle, and Daniel is now buddy with Fisk. So much so that he gets promoted and he's kind of being thrusted into this world that he's not really prepared for. I don't see it ending very well for Daniel personally. We also get to go back to Josie's bar this episode, and some weird things happen that I think they're keeping vague because there's going to be something revealed in the finale. At Josie's, Matt talks to her about the last day with Foggy and how he was celebrating drinking his favorite drink that he only had after winning a case. The only problem is here, he didn't win the case yet. He wasn't going to win. He was celebrating early. So along with keeping a witness at his own apartment, Foggy is now going behind Matt's back again and kind of keeping things from him. Look, I'm not trying to get your hopes up, but we've discussed the theory on this channel that maybe Foggy Nelson is still alive, and what happens later on in this episode, which we're about to touch on, plays heavily into that. But before we get into that, I want to talk about the scene where Bullseye and Matt meet in prison. Like I said earlier, Matt is just very angry at this time. He's not really being his normal self, and he actually lets the anger get to him, and while talking to Bullseye, he actually smashes his head on the table, allowing Bullseye's tooth to come loose, which he will use later on to break free. Bullseye delivers one of the greatest lines here about how he's destined to protect his worst enemy. That's what a hero is, which we will see at the end. The writing for this episode is so good, and it's actually just so fast paced. I wish the episode was longer, of course, but I never felt bored. I feel like there was so much packed into it because they're trying to kind of right the ship with the old writing of this series and doing doing their own thing now that's connecting the original Netflix series. They did a lot of legwork in this, and it really worked. So the whole second half of this episode takes place at this ball, and we have all of the characters here. We've got Daniel, we have BB Urich, we have Vanessa and Fisk, and now we have Matt and Heather. This is where Matt starts to really understand that Heather's in danger because she's working with Fisk in the therapy sessions. But we also see other characters here such as Swordsman, and Fisk reveals his identity knowing who he is, and now we're kind of getting the original Fisk back where he's in complete control of everything, including the police force. So much so that the commissioner basically has no power, and the anti-vigilante task force is replacing all of the police. They are not doing things by the book. They're dirty, dirty cops, and this is really just setting up season 2. This also starts another plot thread where BB Urich is talking to the police commissioner, talking about letting all of these secrets out, doing the good thing for humankind. I just love how this late in the season we're starting to really ramp things up, and of course I wish this happened earlier, but this just gets me, again, I've said it so many times now, very excited for season 2. It's because of the writing, it's because of the characters, it's because of the cinematography, really just everything. This episode was not just the best in my opinion, but really showed what we've been missing. I think one of my favorite parts about this ballroom scene is where we have Fisk seeing that Matt's there, and he's talking to him while dancing with Vanessa because he knows Matt has the superhuman hearing. So Matt's able to hear everything Fisk says but can't talk to him. He's actually just supposed to be talking to Heather, but he's not listening to her, creating division within their relationship, but also trying to warn Heather not to be involved with this guy. He's had more power than he's ever had, and now that he's fully back on board with Vanessa, he's got the crime world and the public official world under his thumb. And all the while, this episode is just swelling with intensity and anxiety, and we have Bullseye, who just broke out of the prison, arrive at the ballroom and try to kill Fisk. Now, before Bullseye gets there, Matt talks to Vanessa during the dance and says, "I know that you're the one who had Foggy killed." Fisk was away, so Vanessa was clearly the one who ordered the hit on Foggy by Bullseye. Why? We don't know. Bullseye even said, "I'll tell you, just not in here." Was he worried that Fisk or Vanessa had prisoners on his payroll within the prison that were going to kill him if he told anything? But at the same time, when Vanessa goes back to Fisk, she says, "There's something I need to tell you." And right then, Bullseye arrives. So there's clearly a very big conspiracy or secret going around with Vanessa, the death of Foggy, the involvement of Bullseye, everybody. But now that we figured out Bullseye wasn't just going on revenge, he was hired, he comes back here and tries to take out Fisk now. Only Matt, listening to what Bullseye said earlier, jumps in front of Fisk, protecting his worst enemy, and takes the bullet for him. That's where the episode ends. My God. I don't want to sound cliche, but like, this is exactly what we've been wanting and waiting for. I've loved this series so far, but seeing how good this episode alone is, and probably the finale as well, wow. Everything was there. I even tweeted, it's like they took the original comic book series from Netflix and they added a little bit more spice and a little bit more color and a little bit more comic book stuff, and wow, does it work. I am so excited to see what the finale has in store. I'm going to be making so many videos on just this episode alone because there's a lot to dive into. The most important thing is you guys leaving your comments down below right now and a like on the video, letting me know what you thought and what I didn't talk about and what you want to discuss, because we can have full conversations down there right now. I'm so ready to talk. Guys, let's try to get this video to 100 likes. Please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all very soon.